Hey everybody out there. How are you tonight? I guess we're in Berlin at the moment. This is a showing. I got something in the mail about it. But we are going to continue with our facilities. I guess our first one will be one that we all know. You know, it was secret for a while, but here we've got the Epstein Island. Is it a hideout? Is it an institute? Is it a facility? So the more we examine, it's like the deeper it all goes. And this is a good place to start because some things just don't seem believable. But they are existing. And this was modeled after what my man Flint and don't laugh everyone, Fantasy Island. But these were darn strange tootin' whatever. Are there tunnels underneath? Probably. Doc says there were tunnels dug by the military in all sorts of places, all through the world, especially in areas like the Caribbean, sort of around that crazy Castro time. So this is a good place to start for all of us. It's sort of back in the news, and what sort of roads does this place connect to? Who, where, what, when, why? Yeah, I wonder what happened there. I'm sure many of us wonder what happened. I'll leave a link for you below. We'll go to our next spot after we see our now out of work, unemployed. Yep, there's that weird meadow, right, with the strange sort of crop circle-y intricate design there. Yeah, where do we go from here? You know what? Here we are again. I know we were here before, everyone. However, I noticed I missed a lot, and I'm sorry, everybody. I had missed a lot. And one thing that stood out in going back was this description Yes, my darlings. If you've seen some of the other evergreen footage, I talk about the MK Ultra traumatization. When you first come in, there's the infamous, you can see here on the left, that's Red Square. There's the infamous clock tower that looks just like the one that these snipers were using at Kent State in, was that 71, 72? And this was always my private joke, the not so funny joke, but there is a grassy knoll there. And I didn't know it was formally called that. I mean, look, we've got, this is the main building. It's not saying here's the library of the Evergreen State College, like it does for all the other colleges I check out. No, it doesn't say here's the great lecture halls and science buildings. No, but we will let you know. We've got the grassy knoll. Is that from the Umbrella Man? And going back to the Evergreen State College, the year that I started was a few years after the outdoor education guy took the class up to Mount Rainier, and the entire class perished. It was a great tragedy. I don't know how many people were there. There's Mount Rainier right over here. And so Evergreen was a popular place to go for people who were interested in exploring nature. But everyone perished. It was completely a huge tragedy. And that teacher's name was Willie Unsold. And he was, it's weird because he's sort of like a rock star, this kind of martyred figure from the school, and it's just horrible. So I don't really know him. I don't know a lot about him because he was right before my time, although I do know a person who taught something called the love class, basically around Leo Buscaglia, with him on the weekends when he was still alive. We are now in New York City. We are now in New York City. And here is the Explorers Club. It looks like it's behind quite a lot of flora and fauna here. And this is the place, I believe, could be wrong, maybe it was the Yale Club, but I'm pretty sure it's the Explorers Club. See, it's right off Central Park almost. And this was where a friend of mine who I knew out here, who I sort of met kind of, around the whole Evergreen thing, and he ended up moving to New York, and someone he met there or knew there took him somewhere fun and fancy one day, right? The Explorers Club, the little kind of thought about, but extremely there it is, right? You could just be in Merry England on an estate or something. It's got it all, right? You've got your, this is it. This is where all the explorers used to come and hang out and talk about, their days up in the Arctic Circle, or, being chased, in various countries. Who knows the kinds of stories told around the fire in this New York, once again, kind of forgotten, not very known place. And he saw a photograph of this teacher, Willie, with, oh God, stuffed animals. Yeah, this place is a bit grotesque. And he saw him there. This is just very weird. He saw his photograph there. Sorry about this. Help. He saw his photograph there while he was in this place. All right. And he's going, oh my gosh, like, what is going on? Why am I seeing Willie Unsel's photograph here? Why? 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 And it was with a whole bunch of other people. Okay, it's one of these types of photographs, but it was one of those explorer photos where they're all standing, on top of the, it looked like the Himalayas. And so he decided to look into that photo. Who was Willie with? He's looking and seeing, oh wow. Willie's with, these known CIA operatives. And they're here on top of this mountain. What's the deal, right? What is the deal? They're on top of this mountain that, might as well be Mount Rainier, but it's much higher, right? They're on top of Mount Everest. So he's a researcher. This friend is a major researcher. And so he starts to look into this, Wow, I knew that Willie was this, famous climber, but I didn't know that he climbed with X, Y, and Z. So he's looking up these people and doing his deep research. And that was one reason he left Olympia. He was just such a researcher that he had to go back to the archives, right? And he finds that these guys were doing psyops. They went to the top of the Himalayas. And I'm sorry, I forgot to pull the Himalayas up. I pulled up a fair amount of places. But we'll pretend, okay? They went up to the top. And they had this stuff, some kind of radioactive material that they left up there to drain down into the Ganges and poison India. And then they put up some kind of spyware or some weird thing that went towards China. So it was this double-edged poisoning, surveillance, just kind of weird thing. It's odd to think of it now because Evergreen is so in bed with China. It's like, what? Strange. But anyway, that was what he found. I feel a little weird talking about it because that guy's wife died last week and I'm like, oh my God, it's so weird. But I kind of am just barreling forward with just stuff that was told to me. I don't know. But it sure is weird, and I really don't think that he would really be able to make that up. Here we go. This one's kind of out of left field. I didn't really build up to it or anything. So we'll have to maybe come back to it another time. But this is near Rothschild, Wisconsin. What a name, huh? And we're going to be going into why is Rothschild, Wisconsin named Rothschild, Wisconsin? What is the connection? And is it a hideout, a facility, an institute, or some other hotbed or something? And not far is this place. And I've got a deep friend who says, isn't it interesting that near Rothschild, they're trying to get everyone in a friendly mood towards reptiles. They've just put a huge amount of money into it. And see how it's surrounded by a big, amazing forest. And it's not just sort of jammed in like the other zoo critters. So it seems as if there's a familiarization, becoming user-friendly with reptiles there in a sort of creepy, bizarro way. We will be getting back to that. Yes, we will. And a shout out, I'm sorry, is that a tacky term? And a thank you to whoever you are out there in the comments section who reminded us of Clockwork Orange and Anthony Burgess. Now, another place that's on the list, and once again, it's not fully proven. So it's not an Epstein Island. But how do you like this? I found this Disneyland Masonic Club souvenir. What do you think? And when you start reading kind of a lot of deep MK Ultra stuff, and it's interesting to kind of look into it, you see that there wasn't room and there wasn't enough user friendliness for the MK Ultra projects for the children. And so it's basically like a base, a kind of covered up base and surveillance system. So we'll get into that later as well. And shall we keep going with this? This is in Missouri. This is Unity Village. And it's kind of, it's pre-New Age. It's what was called New Thought. And it was started by a man who went to school with Walt Disney. They both went to the Kansas City Art Institute. And Unity Village is slightly Disneyland-esque. It's got kind of a fake Cotswolds, and it has, let's see what pictures come up. It's got this, see the tower back there? You've got this Masonic-y tower, and these were all kind of old Italian buildings. There you've got kind of a tacky 70s thing on the right. But these were all built in like the 20s and on this kind of endless land. Not too many people know about it. And it's almost like self-sufficient. It's full of just weird caves, and it's basically a kind of a dynasty. And it's there. And this is for our British friends, of course. We've got High Wycombe, and that's an old Aleister Crowley hangout. And maybe we'll be bringing that into the picture too, because That's sort of the birthplace of a lot of the craziness that we saw in Laurel Canyon and other places that came later on. Tavistock. Much love, everyone. It's a wild night, but we're trying to pin down some facilities, institutes, and hideouts. Much love.